Hey guys, welcome to the School of Magic Basic Intuition Class 101. I am so excited to bring this content to you. This is something I have been working on for the last couple of years. For those of you who don't know me or know my background, my name is Kat Hart. I am actually a fifth generation gypsy. I am Romanian, Hungarian, and Sicilian. Romanian on one side of my family and Hungarian on the other side. So it actually runs in both sides of my bloodlines. We have amazing family get togethers, as you can imagine. I ran a successful practice as a spiritual advisor and teacher for many years, along with running spiritual retreats, teaching this type of content successfully over a long period of time. And just went through a lot of life changes, my parents passing away, my house burning down, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so everything got put on hold. However, I still was building my own spiritual muscle and my own intuition as well. And I also live stream on TikTok. I have done cards, I've done coaching, I've done advising, I have done personal one on one trainings, along with classes, courses, and retreats. So I am bringing this to school, which I am so excited about. I am incredibly thrilled about this platform. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. So let's get into it. So first of all, what is basic intuition? Your intuition is something that we all have. It's something that is on the inside. But what we fail to miss sometimes is that you can only hear and tap into your intuition when you're feeling calm and receptive and open to it. So it's really important that if you want to go deeper into this practice, that you take time and you work it on honing your abilities in a calm and receptive manner. So it's hard to be in a frustrated state or be an angry state and want to get an answer from the inside. It doesn't usually work that way. A lot of times it'll be convoluted, and we're going to discuss the different types of intuition as well, and also using your intuition when it seems like it goes against your logical reasoning. So when you have this gut feeling, when you have a gut feeling that you're supposed to do something, and like if you come to a stop sign and you don't know which way to go and you want to turn left or right, and you kind of trust your gut and you go right, and the perfect parking spot or the perfect opportunity arises from that. I know this is a silly example, but this literally just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was in downtown Seattle and I was going to a production, a play, and I knew the parking was going to be ridiculous. It was downtown. It was a Friday night. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to find the perfect parking spot. I already know. I have this thing with the universe where I get VIP parking everywhere I go. Things just open up for me as soon as I pull up, and I just knew I would find the right spot. And so I drove to where the venue was, and it was just chaos. I mean, all of the lots were full, the parking areas were full. It was just absolute chaos. And something told me, my gut told me to drive through the light and go one block past the venue, which I did. And it was almost like I was going to be getting on the freeway. And I thought, gosh, there's nobody here. Like, where I'm going to be getting on the freeway. And again, I got to the next block, a light said turn right. I followed my gut. I turned right, and immediately I saw a sign that said public parking. Now, just because of my prior Air Force training, I worked underground. I have this kind of whole thing with being underground. I also said I don't want to park underground because a lot of the parking structures in Seattle go down, and it literally makes my palms sweat. I just get anxiety. And I was like, I want parking that's nearby, and I want it to be above ground. So I was thinking street parking, but trusted my intuition. And literally, I pull into the parking area and it goes up. And the very first spot, literally right when I drive in, it was cheaper than anywhere that would have been in the surrounding area. It was above ground. It was a block and a half away from the venue. And there was only one other person that kind of had followed that same intuition and was literally parking across from me. There were so many parking spaces. It was ridiculous. But if I would have went back a block and a half, when I walked back towards the venue, which took me about maybe 4 minutes, It was chaos. People trying to find parking spots, people trying to wait, to get into these parking structures, going down underneath buildings and, trying to slide in these little tiny spots. But again, I trusted my gut. And so those little blips of intuition are there to guide us, to make our life easier. They're there to help us in every way possible. And so those are the things when we work on listening to that it helps us along the way. Haven't you ever had where maybe you have $10 on the counter and you think, oh, I need to put that $10 in my purse? But you don't know why. You're like, well, why? I don't need this $10. I have my card or whatever. And then a little bit later, you realize, oh my gosh, I need exactly $10 cash. Or you feel guided to grab a pen and you don't know why, or your notebook, or a bottle of water, or whatever it is, an extra jacket. Maybe it's beautiful outside and something in your intuition when you're walking out the door tells you grab a sweatshirt or grab a raincoat or something like that. And out of the blue, you're at an event and the weather changes, or wherever you get to your destination, the weather is completely different. So those types of things are guidance to help us in living our best life. And haven't you done this before where you're like, oh, I should have listened. I should have listened to my intuition. I should have turned right. I knew I should have turned right. Or man, I should have made that phone call. I knew I should have made that phone call. Or man, I should have picked up that shell. I knew I should have picked up that shell. So many times where I've done readings or I've worked with people, I've gotten the coolest little intuition messages of purchasing something for somebody. And again, I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm just telling you my story, but I have this really unique ability to buy gifts for people from people that have transitioned. So sometimes I'll buy, like, I remember one time I bought an ornament, a Christmas ornament, and I had sent it to a mom on behalf of her son who had transitioned through a car accident. And she called me sobbing when she got it. And she said, there's no way you could know this. She lived on the other side of the country. She said, but this is what my son used to do every year. He used to buy me Christmas ornaments. That was his thing. And so I have so many stories I could tell you like that over and over and over, where I just pick something up and I was like, this is for somebody. I'm not sure who it's for yet. Or sometimes I know exactly who it's for, but sometimes I don't even know who it's for. And I'm like, oh, I just need to grab this. And as soon as I run into the person, I'm like, this is for you. I knew this was for you, somebody. This is for you. So again, that's trusting your intuitive guidance. That's trusting your intuition. Now, there are ways that you can trust your guidance even more, and you can develop that. One really good way is to make sure that you're journaling. I write down thoughts. I write down ideas. I mean, even when I was building this course, I was writing down ideas. I was keeping, this is one of many books that I've had a lot of record keeping in to build these courses over the last couple of years. But also tracking your dreams is absolutely phenomenal. Doing visualization work. Doing energy work. One really easy way I've taught people how to hone their intuition and trust it more is taking, oh, I wish I had one here, but like taking like a 3x5 card. I'll use these as an example. So taking two cards, like a little 3x5 card that's blank on both sides, and you can write yes on one or no on the other, and you can flip them down, spin them around a little bit so you don't know which one's which, and ask a question. And then what you do is you put your hand over the card and you feel which one vibrates. You feel which one you're guided to pick. And so you can answer your questions that way. You can also, if you're trying to get the idea, you're trying to get something answered, like you have a question, like say you have an opportunity for 3 different jobs and you don't know which one to take. You feel stuck and maybe they're in 3 different locations, or you're looking to move and you don't know where to go. You write the 3 different options or 5 or whatever it is on the cards. And again, flip them down, shuffle them around so you don't know which one's which. And then you ask the question, which job is for my highest and best path? Which one's going to make me the happiest? And then you start putting your hand over each card and you see which card vibrates. And you know you made the right choice if when you flip it over, you're happy. or you vibrate, you get that little tingle through your whole body, or maybe your hair stands up or you get goosebumps. I call them truth bumps, because for me, when I get in that alignment with truth, I'm telling you, my body heats up. Sometimes I get sweating, like I'll get goosebumps, my hair will stand up. I just get this inner knowing where this is right. And so that's one of the best ways for you to know that this is the right choice for you. Now, if you choose something and you're like you don't immediately have a yes, it's probably a no. You might be forcing your own will. So one other thing we want to talk about is making sure that you're not basically basically using your own personal biases or something from the past on, or wishful thinking. You don't want to put that into your intuition. So if you're hoping for a certain outcome, that's not letting your higher power in the universe bring you what's the highest and best for you. Because sometimes we want something so badly, but it may not be for our highest and best. A certain job or a certain relationship, or whatever it may be, it doesn't support us in living our best life, and we know it somewhere inside. We know it's not for our highest and best, but we want it so bad that we override our intuition and we go in that path anyway, and we're not happy. We know there's still that void. We know there's still that kind of unease. We're off balance because we know we chose something that wasn't exactly right. Now, it doesn't mean you can't learn from it. It doesn't mean you can't learn a lesson from that job or that relationship or that experience or whatever happens, but it's never going to make you feel fulfilled. It's never going to give you exactly what it is you want and what it is you're looking for, because only the alignment with who you truly are is going to do that. And so that's why using your intuition is so vitally important. That's why developing your intuition in these ways is so vitally important. And so this is using energy work. This is actually using your energy of your body. Now, there's other things like pendulums. Okay, so now these, I will go into more of these later. These are actually tools, like using cards, using stones, using pendulums, using singing bowls, that you can actually tap into certain frequencies and vibrations that you can get yeses or get more information or get confirmations from. And while we're talking about confirmations, so in module 2, I will be talking about tools. I'll be talking about using cards or using stones or using pendulums or using things like that, that are tools that are in addition to your own personal intuition. Now, that being said, you don't need any of those things. You can, in fact, it's better to not use them to start really honing your intuition, because then you're not relying on a tool in order to trust yourself. So I want to talk about confirmations. It is absolutely okay and preferred that you bounce these things off of somebody. It's okay to have an idea or have a feeling or get an intuitive response about something and want to get a confirmation from somebody. This is one of the reasons I'm developing these programs in this school platform, is because you now are going to be able to build a community. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. You can actually post questions with each other here in the community. You can post questions to myself or other instructors that I'll be bringing on here in the community. And you're going to have everything that you need to have your questions answered, get validated, get confirmations, and also know that what you're going through is not isolated to just you. You're not alone in these experiences. You're not alone in these brain evolutions and learning how to develop your intuition. There's people around the world that are doing these techniques and that are really using it to the best of their ability so they can have the life that they've always dreamed of, in order to really find their passion, live their purpose, do something to heal themselves or the world, or, there's so many beautiful things that you can do with your intuition. But the number one thing is to make yourself feel whole. to make yourself feel like you've filled the void, because it's not going to come from out there. There's no person, there's no thing, there's no amount of money, there's no job, there's no place, there's nothing else that's going to fill the void. Only you can do that. Only you can feel whatever's missing on the inside. Only you can use your intuition to guide you to those things that are going to help you to stay balanced. Another really good practice is to make sure that you're connecting with nature, because nature is very in tune with the frequency and vibration of intuition. If you walk barefoot, it's called either grounding, or it's called, oh my gosh, I just spaced. It's grounding, but there's another word for it. It'll come to me. It's up there in my brain. But you can actually walk, and what you're doing is you're trading electrons with the planet. So again, it's very scientific, but you're actually grounding energy into the Mother Earth, which Mother Earth is incredible at recycling energy. And the good thing is you can feel the frequency and the vibration of animals, trees, plants, flowers, living things, water, rocks, and stones. That's why each type of stone has a different frequency. Again, we'll get into that in module 2. But literally, you can tap into these things. And when you have your skin against a tree, now, one thing I like to do is, I know this sounds kind of wonky, but ask permission. Remember, these are living things. So trees are living things. Grass and plants are living things. I mean, it's okay to have reverence for these beautiful living beings. They have proven that trees communicate, and trees have feelings, and trees actually grow and live in communities. Did you know trees can have life partners? And most of them do. Most of them have life partners. They literally grow together side by side. And if one tree dies or gets killed, the other tree will die also, because their partner's gone. So they have measurable feelings. So, and they also have a groundwork of roots and little tiny hairs that emit frequencies and vibrations that they communicate through. So when you are going in nature and you want to connect with nature and you want to listen to what nature has to tell you, be respectful and realize that we're all connected. I love that movie Avatar, because to me, that's the closest thing I've ever seen to everything I've ever felt on the inside. Just that connection with animals, that connection, how they would take their tail and they would combine with, the animal, or they would combine with the tree, and it would just wrap around. And those types of, that's intuition at its finest. Because we have these frequencies that are emitted off of our body, and they can be scientifically measured. They can measure our brain waves by putting little electrodes on our brains, right? They can measure what's coming off our brain. They can measure your heartbeat by putting an electrode on your chest and measuring your heartbeat. They can measure the heat that's coming off of your body. They can measure all these things because there's waves of energy that are coming off of your body all the time. That's why it's so important that you stay present and you know what you're thinking about, and you control your thoughts and your emotions, because as soon as you have a thought, it emits a frequency. It emits a wave of energy that precedes you. It goes out away from you, and it's going to attract more of what you're thinking about. So what you think about, you bring about. These are terms that have been around forever. What you focus on, you're going to bring towards you, and you're going to bring more of it. So if you're thinking about how hard things are, or how your finances suck, or how difficult your relationship is right now, you're literally going to attract more things that make it so. You're going to attract more things that collaborate with that thought and that frequency, because the universe, your higher power, is all about matching frequencies. It's magnetism. This entire planet and galaxy is based on magnetism. So you want to magnetize positive things. You want to work on this intuition. So, what's the difference in a gut feeling or an intuitive knowing or an intuitive insight? Well, a gut feeling is kind of like I told you before about turning right or left or picking up something. Other times, like an intuitive knowing, is like as soon as I walked in for the Christmas ornament for the mom, like I had a knowing there was something inside that led me. I was like, I have to go in this store. I have to buy this ornament for this woman. Like it was just a knowing. I had an absolute knowing that I needed to do this. And I didn't know why. That's the best part about trusting your intuition. You don't need to know the why. The why will show itself later. But when you follow your intuition and you're helping to bridge these gaps, you're actually making connections for other people as well. And you're helping them to believe. You're helping them to see that this is a tangible practice. This is something that is there for every single one of us. Whether you choose to use it or not, every single person on the planet has an intuition that they can tap into. Animals use an intuition. They've shown that animals that like if there's a tidal wave that's coming in or there's a water surge or there's some danger, that they have an intuitive ability to go to higher ground. Or trees communicate with each other through this frequency and vibration. In Africa, there's a type of tree where if a giraffe starts eating its leaves, it'll literally send a frequency and a signal out to the other trees in the area to turn their leaves bitter, so all of the leaves from the entire grove don't get eaten. This is all scientific and documented stuff. That's the best part, is these are things that are real, that it can actually help us to grow and become stronger versions of ourselves. And intuitive insights are maybe when you're getting okay, I'll give you a great example. I kept every time I went over a bridge, I kept seeing a bridge fall. And it was like, what is going on? Like I would almost get, and even one time I got stopped on a drawbridge and my palms were sweating. I got so much anxiety, and I don't have anxiety about like bouts of anxiety or anything like that. But this was an anxiety attack. Like I was so fearful of being on this drawbridge that I literally wanted to go abandon my car and go run away. And I called one of my best friends and I was like, I'm freaking out right now. I keep seeing this bridge fall and I'm not sure what's going on. Well, maybe a week or so after that, there was a bridge portion, a section of a bridge that fell from a truck hit one of the ribs of the top of the bridge. A big semi had hit it, and somehow it was one of the main supports, and it literally collapsed an entire section. Now, luckily, nobody died, but there were cars on that section. Can you imagine? And it fell a good, probably, I would say 30 feet. Or it fell into like the canal below. I mean, there was just a little bit of water. So again, nobody got hurt, but I can't even imagine being on that section of bridge when it fell. So that's an intuitive insight. When you see something or you have a dream about something and then it happens, that's an intuitive insight. So that's kind of the difference between those types of intuitions. So again, one thing I want to reiterate, that seeking confirmation and validation for these things are okay. You can do it in this community. You can talk to somebody that you trust. You can work with a spiritual advisor. I even have spiritual advisors that I work with. So I'm your spiritual advisor. You're getting to tap into me in this school. And you also get to message me, and you can email me, or like I said, the other instructors that are going to be coming in to teach. But also I have a wonderful woman that I'm going to be working with who is in my community. She's one of my spiritual sisters, and we're going to be teaching dream interpretation. And that is going to, I'm so excited about that course because I love to interpret dreams. I just think it is the coolest practice. And it's okay though to get validation from other spiritual advisors. Totally okay. In fact, and sometimes it's necessary in order, while you're building your intuition, it helps you validate. It gives you confirmation that, yeah, what you thought was so. So, and again, that builds your confidence and it builds your self esteem in building your intuition. So, these are just the basics in developing, having discernment, and understanding your own intuition. And again, one thing I want to remind you is that when you are working with your intuition, make sure that you are in a calm and receptive state. Make sure that you are um, open to receiving. And if it's something that you need to practice, just tell yourself constantly, I am present, I am open, and I'm receiving. I'm present, I'm open, and I'm receiving. And again, when you get the hit, when you get the correct validation, it should make you feel good. It should make you smile. It should bring you joy. It should give you some kind of physical, like, brr, like alignment. It should give you some type of incredible feeling. Oh, I just came up with, so when you're walking, it's called earthing. When you're walking and you're on barefoot on the ground, and it's called grounding. It's called earthing. And I love to go earthing. I love to walk barefoot. I do it every single day. I love connecting with Mother Earth. But this is a way that you can get a deeper knowing of yourself, build your inner wisdom, and really, really stay connected to your path. So I'm excited about this first module. I hope that you learned something valuable. Wait, module tool is going to be even better. We're going to be discussing basic intuition tools and techniques, and I'm very excited for this. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Practice your intuition. I'll see you next time in module 2. Hello, hello. Welcome to Module 2 of Basic Intuition 101. This is about using tools such as oracle cards and decks, stones, and even pendulums. So, first of all, let's start with the oracle cards. So, oracle cards are decks. People sometimes call them tarot cards. Everybody has different feelings about these and what they are, what they're used for, where they came from, if they're connected to something dark or anything like that. Now, I think that there's a lot of personal opinion in all of this. However, there's certain tools that I won't use. Like, for example, I've never used a Ouija board. I just personally, it's just not something I connect with. It is, to me, it's opening a portal to other dimensions and other realms. And I know that we can do that regularly on our own, but I don't want a tool that for me enhances the ability to open something that anything can come through. So that's just me. Now, my oldest deck I've had, you can see it's kind of beat up and the corners. I mean, I think my pup even chewed on it at one point, but the cards inside are still mean a lot to me. This is my angel deck. This is my oldest deck I've had for quite some time. I use it all the time for guidance and for wisdom. And I also have some other cool decks like the animal spirit guides. I've got the crystal spirits that delve into like all the crystals and the energy of the crystals. I've got many decks. I think I've got like 10 or 12 decks. And it's a tool. So all these are meant to do is enhance your own natural ability. Now, the first deck of oracle cards was actually published in England in 1775. So they've been around for hundreds of years. But where did the origin of the oracle actually come from? So in thousands of years ago, throughout time, people have gone to spiritual leaders called oracles to help them with divine messages, to interpret dreams. Sometimes they would cast stones, either regular stones or gems or even rune stones with messages on them. And depending on the way that they would land or the pattern they would form, or with certain messages written on the stones, would come up or be laying down, they would interpret the message that came from divine in order to help guide the person that was having the questions. And the nice thing about using these tools is, again, it's just validation, it's enhancement. So if you're using your intuition, you're in a meditation and you feel something and you want to know if this is your own divine guidance or if this is a wish, it's something that you really want to have happen, you can use a card and say, okay, is this a part of my path? Is this something that's a higher divine um, direction for me to go? But also, you can use the pendulums as well, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the cards are just additional tools. I hadn't used any kind of oracle decks, tarot decks, anything like that for most of my practice. When I was teaching intuition and was doing my retreats, I would always bring someone else in to do cards, do rune stones, things like that, just because I always used my own basic intuition and I really loved enhancing my own natural abilities. And so everybody likes the decks, though. Everybody really loves the decks and they like the validation from the decks. And how decks work is there's an energy that comes off and is associated with every single card. So I'm just going to pick one card here. Okay, so I've got the whale card, which is from my animal spirit deck. Now, this is a water card with the water symbol up here. This is a strength card. This is about really like flowing through your life and finding your way. So there's all this message that's associated already with this card. So when you're shuffling the cards and you have somebody, like if you're doing it for yourself, obviously, and a good thing to do is to clear your deck, take your deck. And the way I was taught to do it was to take your deck and to actually knock on it and knock any energy out of it and just kind of energetically clear it. You can use sage, like a smoke clearing. You can do all types of ways to clear it. You can put them in the moonlight, natural moonlight. You can put them in salt. So there's lots of ways that you can cleanse your decks. Now, if you get a brand new deck, I think the first thing that you should do is definitely cleanse it. That way there's nobody else's energy or vibration or frequency on the deck. Okay. Now, if you're asking for yourself, you want to hold the deck and ask the question and say, may I have the best and clearest answer for me in this question? If you're doing it for somebody else, say my friend Michael. Okay. So if I'm pulling a card for Michael, I want to say, okay, may I please have the best and highest answer for Michael? Now, if you're on a live stream and you're doing this professionally or you're doing this in front of somebody, you can either do it open, like say it, or you can do it privately and do it quietly. So either way, it's the intention that you're putting in the deck. So you're putting the intention of the person that you're reading in the deck. And so they vibrate with a frequency. So if it's you, you're vibrating with the deck. If it's somebody else, their frequency is vibrating with the deck. And so what happens is the cards pop up in the same frequency as the person being read. Therefore, the message, that's why it aligns with people so well most of the time, especially if the person doing the reading is in alignment. That's why the reading can be so very specific and can really help validate exactly something they've been thinking or exactly what they've been going through or anything like that, is because the message aligns with the frequency of the person. So hopefully that makes sense, where you're literally attracting the message to you of validation and saying, yeah, this is your path. Yes, you were correct in that circumstance. This card confirms it. I'll get more into the actual specifics of oracle decks and cards in a completely different module. I just wanted to touch on the basics of the cards in general. I mean, cards have been around for a really long time, and using oracles have been around for thousands of years. The Greeks actually used oracles. They would use animal entrails, and gross, I know, or livers, and they would read spots or something on a liver to do readings of divine, or they would dump out entrails, and how they would lay is how the reading would go. China would use bones. Ancient China, they would take a bone and they would write the question on the bone, and they would heat the bone up until it burst, until it exploded. And then however the bone laid, they would read the pattern of the bones, and they would give the message through that. So this type of divination, this type of reading has been around for a long time. And like I said, the oracle cards have been around since about published in England, first one, 1775. So that's kind of a little bit of the history of the cards, the oracle decks, and why they're fun to use. They're actually a fun tool. It can enhance your ability. It's kind of like a cheat. It's like a little cheat code. If you're a gamer, it's a little cheat code to be able to help. So rather than using your own guidance, your own intuition to read the person that you're working with or to read yourself, you're actually getting the message from the card. So they're vibrating with the card. You're kind of just the middleman. You're just reading the message that's on the card, but their energy is what chose the card. So a little bit of history on that. The next thing I want to talk about is stones. And so I'm going to actually talk about the top 5 stones that are used for spiritual practice. The number one, and I have a couple of them here. The number one is the amethyst. This is all about spirituality. This is all about meditation. These are amethysts. I've got another one here as well. So this enhances spiritual abilities. This can be a very calming stone. It helps to improve focus, and it's a good protection stone. So the amethyst is a very good stone. And so what's cool to use, I should back up just a little bit. What's neat to use about the stonework is amazing because every single stone has its own frequency and vibration. And so what we're doing is we're finding a stone that vibrates with the frequency of what we're trying to enhance or maybe absorb or maybe protect or feel a certain way. So the energy that comes off of stones can be calming. They can be help to achieve focus or clarity. They can help you bring truth. And so actually, this is really funny that I'm doing this. I was literally given this. This is a chakra braid. So it has all the stones in alignment with the chakras. And I was given this yesterday by a friend, and I absolutely love it. So you can have multiple energies at the same time. It's not going to convolute anything. However, if you're doing a focus practice, like you're actually working on creating focus and you just want to hold the vibrational frequency of the amethyst, then I would say focus on one stone at a time. If you're looking for alignment, if you're looking for just general well-being and protection, and you're looking to enhance your intuition, something like this cord can actually make a big difference as well. All right, so let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is kyanite. So this is kyanite. This actually helps with telepathic communication. And the nice thing about the kyanite stone is this is one of the only stones that never requires energetic cleansing. Now, at the very end of the 5 stones, I'll tell you why cleaning the stone is really important. But the kyanite helps to align chakras. It helps with inner peace. It helps you to actually receive guidance. And so it can enhance bringing in intuition into your body. So this is kyanite. Okay, that's the number 2. Number 3 is labradorite. So labradorite is all about strengthening faith and trust. It actually is associated with the third eye chakra, so it can help to really spark your intuition, your imagination, and your creativity. This is also one of the absolute best stones for relieving anxiety and stress. I personally have a labradorite bracelet that I love to wear. I actually got it from a vendor in Seattle who made his own jewelry. And I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I just really love the labradorite stone. I really vibrate with the frequency of this. This also helps to strengthen faith and trust. And so if you're working on trusting people again or trusting yourself, labradorite can be very helpful in that. The 4th one is lapis lazuli. And this is another third eye chakra stone. This is all about bringing out truth and awareness. This is also the stone of friendship. So this is a very cool stone to give to a friend if you want to give a gift to another spiritual person. The lapis, it is very much associated with the third eye. A lot of times if somebody has like a chakra crown or stones, it's usually the lapis. Even though blue is the throat chakra, the lapis, or like I said, the labradorite, are associated with the third eye. And this is all about bringing in self-awareness, increasing your intuition, really, again, bringing inner peace. So this is compatible with the labradorite, but this is a beautiful, strong stone associated with awakening your third eye. I actually have one here. This is a beautiful lapis right here. I actually have another one right here too. This is a lapis as well. That's a smooth one. This is in its raw form. And honestly, I don't think there's any difference in frequency here. I do like raw stones. Some people like polished stones because they like to put them in between their fingers or put them in their pocket and they like to feel them. That's fine. But a natural stone is always going to be preferred over a lab created stone, because the lab created stone is not going to have that natural frequency of the planet in the stone. So it's going to vibrate at a much different frequency. So I would definitely suggest that you get your stones from a trusted spiritual store or somebody that you trust online, to make sure and you know what? Feel it. If you can hold it in your hand and you can feel the frequency and the vibration of it and you're drawn to it, that's actually how I got this very next stone. Number 5 is the moonstone. So the moonstone is one of the absolute best to enhance intuition. This is a very soothing stone. This is all about new beginnings. This is really good for soothing emotions and soothing stress. This is really good in creating stability in your life. So again, these are phenomenal stones. And I have a really cool story about this moonstone. This is my favorite moonstone. This is one of my favorite stones that I own completely. I was having lunch with a friend in southern Washington. I think it was Olympia, if I'm not mistaken. And we were having lunch, and all of a sudden I literally turned around and I was like, I literally felt like a stone calling to me. And I look across the street, or I felt something calling to me. I'll say that because I didn't actually know there was a store there. And I look across the street and there's a stone store. And I was like, I'll be right back. I literally got up in the middle of lunch and I just ran over and immediately went directly to this moonstone. And I was like, that stone was literally calling to me from across the street. I could feel the frequency of it. And the owner said, I literally just got back from Bali yesterday with that stone. He's like, I have no doubt that it was meant for you, because it's like that. He's seen that happen time and time again. And it just literally called out to me. And this is one of my favorite stones. So that is the top 5 stones. I am actually going to go into a series on my social media in TikTok. I can do more stones here if you guys want. Make sure, let me know if you have questions about stones. Again, talk amongst yourselves, talk amongst yourselves. Have a little coffee talk, but put your stone in there, ask questions. And if you have any questions for me about certain stones, what they mean or anything, how they can affect you, how they can enhance you in any way, be sure to ask in the community and let me know. I'm more than happy to give you information and help guidance in any way that I can with these stones. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to deal with is the pendulums. This is really cool. Now, pendulums are literally one of the oldest forms of connecting with the spirit world. And it's also been called dowsing. So that's another term. You might have heard of dowsing rods with people that were looking for water. Dowsing rods were actually used in Vietnam to find tunnels, secret enemy tunnels, or to find landmines. They used pendulums in British intelligence to figure out where Hitler's next move was going to be. The Vatican has even used pendulums. And even though one of the popes, I want to say it was in the 1300s, had said that they couldn't be used anymore. They actually went back to some spiritual people and asked them to use pendulums. Now, pendulums work. Now, you can make your own pendulum, but this one was a gift that was given to me. And how pendulums work is you want to have something so you can have like usually a pendant of some sort that's on either a string, a cord, a chain like this. And you want to always hold your pendulum with your writing hand, the hand that you write with. And you want to either put your elbow on a table or your knee, but you want to have it held very sturdy. You want it held in a very sturdy way. And what you want to do is you first want to know your pendulum. So you ask your pendulum, show me yes. And then the pendulum will move in a certain way, like circles back and forth, front and back, anything like that. Then you say, show me no. And then it'll move in a different way. And so that trains you to know how your pendulum moves. So then you can start asking questions with your pendulum. A really cool thing too is back in the day, even with finding water, they used to use pendulums and dowsing to know where to plant crops and even find missing persons. So I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. So when you start getting really comfortable with your pendulum, you're going to be able to pick it up. And I know people that use these on a daily basis. I don't really use pendulums a whole lot. I like to trust my intuition. Again, this is just an additional tool. I don't think any of these things are meant to be used every single day as a complete not substitute for your own basic intuition. These are just tools, and these can help validate something. These can help to, again, clarify something for you. If you're feeling very confused about which direction to go, you can tap into a pendulum. Now, how you can make your own is you can take a string and put a ring on it, or you can even use a paper clip, something that's metal that will be hanging from a string, a cord, or like I said, like a chain. And again, one good thing to do is to make sure that you're cleansing. And I'm going to talk about cleansing the stones, and we might as well just talk about cleansing the pendulum. A really good way to cleanse a pendulum is either salt water, if its ability to be in salt water. Like I probably wouldn't put this metal one in salt water, but what I can do is I can use sage smoke. So cleansing smoke will actually help to clean the air out of the energy out of the pendulum. And if you think about it too, it's funny because I grew up as a Catholic, and they used a lot of incense and smoke in the church quite a bit. And I always loved it. But I never understood it till I was older. They were actually dispelling any negative energy with the incense. And so incense is actually used as a cleansing smoke in order to clear energy. And if you use sage, I've cleared houses before, that used to be one of my practices. I would actually get paid to go into people's homes and do clearings. The air smells clearer. It smells cleaner. You can feel when that energy is gone, especially when you do that spiritual cleansing. It's absolutely amazing. So, again, you can make your own pendulum, and then again, practice. Say, show me yes, show me no, and practice. But again, keep your hand and your arm very stable. Rest your elbow either on your knee or a table, and keep it very steady while you're doing your pendulum. So those are the top 3 types of tools that are used regularly in a spiritual practice, whether you want to do it for yourself or you want to have a profession where you're doing this to help others. I hope you guys found this module incredibly useful and not only educational, but a little entertaining. You're learning a little bit of history about all of this. In module 3, we will discuss sound waves. We will discuss singing bowls, crystal bowls, bells, things like that. And so I'm very excited to bring you more information on this basic intuition classes in school. I hope that you're enjoying it. From Fairy Godmother Cat, I hope you have a fantastic day and use your intuition. Hello, welcome to module 3 of Basic Intuition with the School of Magic. I am so excited about today's module. This is about sound therapy and resonance used for healing and overall well-being. Today, we're going to cover understanding the power of sound, the different types of modalities used in sound therapy, and how to create your own practice by using sound therapy. But first, let me talk a little bit about the history of sound therapy. Sound therapy has been around from all the ages since the beginning of time. In ancient Greece, Apollo was the god of music and medicine, and ancient Greek philosophers claimed that music had the power to heal the soul and emotional and mental well-being. Ancient Egypt used sound therapy in all its temples, and it was a staple in its history. Even in biblical times, instruments and sound was used to vanquish evil spirits out of the soul. In World War II, even the army used music and sound therapy to heal its soldiers. So this type of therapy has been around throughout time. And Native Americans have used drumming, chanting, and dance to heal the sick. So every area around the world, every demographic around the world, and every geographical location around the world has evidence of literally using sound throughout time for healing, to promote well-being, and to basically balance everything from your emotional health to your mental health to even your organs inside of your body. They have shown that there is evidence scientifically that musicians actually have a different brain pattern than other people in order to produce the type of music that they do. And there are different frequencies that actually heal different parts of your body or create different responses in your body. So let's get into our lesson today. So sound therapy and resonance for alignment and healing is a powerful way to restore balance and to promote well-being in your body. So understanding how to use sound, basically, it has a transformative effect on your emotions, your mental state, and your spiritual health. Different frequencies, depending on what you tune into and what type of modality that you're using, definitely can impact your energy centers, which are your chakras, and your overall health. Now, there is a healing frequency, 174 hertz, which is known globally as the healing frequency. It is the solfeggio frequency. That is overall well-being frequency that you can, in fact, I have it in the background right now. It's something that you can find on YouTube. You can find it on your radio stations. You can even tell your smart, I don't want to say her name right now. It starts with an A, but if I say it, it's going to stop. So you can ask to hear that frequency in music. When I'm regularly working on something and I feel distracted, I will play a frequency that aids in concentration. So the 174 hertz is something that actually can help with concentration, and it can really promote overall health and well-being. So it has the greatest potential for physical effects on the body also. So if you don't know where to start, the 174 hertz frequency is a really good place to start. And you can just practice using it, listening to it, going to sleep to it, meditating to it, or even just having it in the background while you're doing your schoolwork or your business work, or just while you're even watching TV. If you just want to improve your mental and your emotional health, it's a really good background noise. So it even can bring a sense of security to the organs inside of your body. So how do we actually create these different sounds? Well, there are different modalities that create different frequencies. Now, the earth has its own frequency, the frequency of the tone of Om. Om. That is the earth frequency. That is the standard frequency of the earth. So when people actually chant and do that frequency, they are working to align with the planet. They're actually working to align with the resonance of the planet. And since we're all made of the same things, we're made of the stars are made of the same things of the galaxy, and inside we're made of all the same things. It's good to balance and resonate with the earth. And if you can do some earthing, walking barefoot in nature, so you're trading electrons with the earth while you are doing your you actually can feel an incredible sense of well-being, along with grounding your energy at the same time. So different ways that you can actually get frequencies in your body or use them in a practice is, first of all, there's bowls. There's singing bowls. There's metal bowls such as this one. This is a brass Tibetan bowl. So that is a certain frequency. And there are also crystal bowls that all come in different sizes, shapes, because they're tuned to different frequencies. So what I recommend is either seeking out the frequency, becoming familiar with the frequency that you want to attune to. So if it's healing for internal organs, if it's healing for emotional or mental well-being, if it's for concentration, if it's for meditation, discover which frequency that you want to find first. And then you can actually ask which bowls are tuned to those frequencies. Or you can literally just go into a metaphysical shop and you can play with the bowls and see which one actually resonates with you and makes you feel good. If it lifts your spirits, if it makes you smile, if it makes you get emotional, that's probably a good bowl for you. That's actually how I found this bowl. I was at a conference and they just had all these Tibetan hand-pounded bowls, and I played with them until I found this one. I also found these Tibetan bells, which I love. They just made their own little sound right there. It's just, there's something so calming about that sound to me. And bells have been used throughout the generations in different forms of religious or spiritual practices throughout the ages. And you always can hear bells in temples, in churches, just all around the world. And even like if I'm in a different city that I've never heard, but never been in before, and I hear bells chiming, I literally stop to listen. It literally does something. It makes me feel so connected, and it makes me feel just a sense of reverence. I just love bells. I don't know what it is. I've always loved bells. There are also tuning forks. Tuning forks can be used for healing. There are a lot of practitioners that actually use tuning forks for healing. I've seen even chiropractors and physical therapists use tuning forks for healing, along with people that do spiritual practices as well. There's also drumming, there's chanting, and there's vocal toning. So you can also use instruments and you can create different resonance. Even if you have a guitar and there's a certain chord that you like and you just strum that chord, it can have a very calming effect on your body. So you have to find what works for you. You have to decide what frequency it is that you want to tune to. And the musical effects of sound have, it's probably affected you your whole life without you even really realizing it. Because when you're in a joyful state, you tend to listen to the sound, the beat, the rhythm of the music. When you're in a sad state, you tend to listen to the words of the song, if there's words. So again, our state can be affected by what we're listening to. Like for me, if I'm sad, I don't really want to listen to sad songs. I want to listen to something joyful. And I remember somebody asking me one time, they were like, what kind of music makes you feel the best? Or pulls you out of a sad state. And for me, it's almost any kind of music, darn near any kind, any kind of joyful, upbeat music. The second it turns on, my vibrational state changes instantaneously. I can be really, really sad, but if I hear a song I really like, I can't help but smile. I can't help but my own frequency just immediately goes up. My vibration rises and it brings joy to the inside of my body. And I just start to feel better. So I like to use music to raise my emotional state and to improve my mental health and to just have overall well-being. Music for me and dance has just been something I've done my entire life to really improve how I feel in my own practice. So let's get into how do you create a practice with sound, with all these different modalities. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you set a clear intention for your practice and your sound therapy. What is it that you want to do with this sound therapy? Do you want to have healing inside your body? Are you trying to heal an injury? Are you trying to heal a trauma? Are you trying to heal an organ, something that's going on in your body? Or are you just trying to calm your mind? Are you trying to get in a better emotional or mental state? Are you wanting to open your heart center and you want to bring more love into your life? Are you trying to align with your higher power and your guides, your ancestors, your angels, and then you're wanting to really expand your consciousness and your awareness? Having an intention for your sound therapy practice is one of the most important things that you can do to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need from this type of therapy in your life. So set a very clear intention for your practice. Then pick a modality that you like. Pick something, whether it's somebody else's music, whether it's your own tools, whether it's, again, the bells, or it's drums, or it's a guitar. It really doesn't matter what it is, because every single instrument, every single tool will have a different effect on you. You're just going to have to test them out and see which one you like the best. However, if you're just getting started and you don't know what to do, again, the 174 hertz frequency is a really good place to start, because again, it's known as the overall well-being frequency, and it can really help to just put you in a meditative state. It can help improve concentration, and it can even bring a sense of security and safety inside your body. So sound therapy can actually help release stagnant energy. If you're feeling stuck and you just don't know what to do, or if you have to study for a big test or a quiz, or whether it's work or school, it doesn't even matter. Maybe you're trying to write a book or a play, or you're trying to paint and get into that creative mode, and you're just feeling stuck, or you have writer's block. Sound therapy can actually release and liberate stagnant energy. So it's a really good practice to actually play some music, or maybe something that you really love. Maybe it's just your favorite song. That's okay. I actually really love to listen to Meghan Trainor, Better When You're Dancing. That song, I feel better when I'm dancing. I'm not the best singer, but I love that song. That song just cheers me up anytime. It doesn't matter where I am. If I hear it, I have a hard time focusing on anything else, because that song just immediately brings me into a state of joy, and it literally changes my mental frequency. And the cool thing is about sound therapy is it actually is proven that it does change your state of your brain. It literally vibrationally changes the frequency and the state of your brain. That's why it can help with emotional and mental issues, because it actually changes the state. It can bring balance into your life. It can actually really help heal your energy centers and align your chakras. It can promote relaxation. and it's really great for overall well-being. So do whatever you need to do to bring this practice into your life and into your spiritual tool belt, if you will, because sound therapy is something that you're using whether you know it or not. Just be careful that you're not allowing sound programming to happen, which happens when we're listening to, say, like the news media, and you fall asleep and your conscious mind falls asleep. You're allowing whatever sound is going on, and that's usually someone speaking, and that is a vocal resonance. It is programming you. There's a reason that TV is called programming, because it's actually programming you. A lot of times, if you fall asleep and you're listening to the news, or you're listening to something that isn't in the highest frequency, you're going to wake up feeling distraught, or you're going to wake up feeling anxiety or stress or anger. And a lot of times, if you can go to sleep listening to a higher frequency or a 174 hertz or whatever it is, if you can listen to a meditation, it's going to actually give you more restful sleep. It'll help your body to actually heal, because it gives your internal organs a sense of security, and you wake up in a much more positive state. So if you're really working on adjusting your mindset and your emotional health, and you want to improve the overall well-being of your life, make sure that you're adding sound therapy to your spiritual practice. So that's it for Module 3. I hope you enjoyed this short exercise and this information on sound therapy, and I will see you soon in Module 4. Have a wonderful day. All right, welcome to Module 4 of Basic Intuition 101, School of Magic. So today we're talking about clearing energy. This is such a good module because there's so many different reasons to clear energy, from your stones, your decks of cards, or your home, even your physical body, how to protect your body or release stagnant energy, and protection around yourself. So let's start with having a new deck. So say you were to have a new deck, and usually it's really good if you're going to have an oracle deck, a tarot deck, anything like that. It's always good to get it as a gift. Now you can buy one for yourself. However, it's fun to trade them, and it is nice to give away as a gift also. So when you first get your gift, when you first get your deck, you're going to want to make sure that you clear energy off of the deck. And then anytime you use it for yourself or somebody else, you also want to clear the deck. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this. You can take the deck out of its box, and you can hold it, and you can actually knock all of the energy and literally visualize the energy just kind of dropping out of the deck completely and clearing the energy. You can actually do a meditation and intention, a visualization of clearing your deck. This actually helps to create a better bond with you and your deck, and you get to know your deck better. Plus, it helps you to get in the vibrational frequency of your deck. Another thing you can do is you can smudge your deck. You can take sage, you can take cedar, or you can do lavender and sweetgrass, and you can literally just light it and put the incense around the deck for about 30 seconds, and then just literally clear the energy of the deck. So every single time you use your deck, you're going to want to do some type of regular practice to clear the energy for your deck. So even, I mean, for me, when I'm doing guest readings, like on a live stream, and I'm pulling cards, I'm using multiple decks. If I'm using the same deck over and over and over, which I just did the other day, literally in between each one, I just gave it a quick little knock. I just basically watch the energy dispel out of it and used a clean deck for every single person. That way I'm getting a true reading, because the person you're giving the reading to, they're at a vibrational frequency that's attracting the message in the deck. So you want to make sure that you clear the energy of the previous person so they get an honest read and they attract the right message for them, because usually it's for a validation or some type of it's something they might already know, and they're just making sure that they're getting the same message. Or maybe it's helping to give them some guidance about what direction to go, or a yes or a no. So it's really important that you clear the energy of the previous person in order to get a clear reading on your deck. So let's touch into stones. Stonework is all of your stones or your gems that you use in your practice. Now, if you have stones that you wear on your body or you use in your practice every single day, you hold them in your hand, you hold them in your pocket, or again, you wear them as jewelry, those are stones that are going to have to be cleared a lot more often than if you have stones that are sitting up on your shelf. So those stones are vibrating at a specific frequency. And if you actually go into my TikTok, there is a series that is talking about the stones that I've been working on. And it talks about what the different frequencies of the stones are and what they can be used for, either healing certain energy centers of your body, attraction, basically absorbing negative energy or ions. And the cool thing about this is it's very scientific. Stones actually can vibrate at a specific frequency, and that frequency can be measured. So it's not just like a lot of woo-woo spiritual stuff. Stones are actually scientifically proven to vibrate at certain frequencies in order to help us. However, each stone, when you use the stone, especially if it's a darker stone like black tourmaline or something, where it's absorbing obsidian, it's absorbing, these are absorbing your energies. Those are stones that are going to need to be cleared more often as well, because once it changes in frequency, not only does it dull, but it basically changes the vibrational frequency of the stone. So you're not getting that pure support that you originally got when you purchased the stone or it was given to you as a gift. So there are many different ways that you can clear your stones and your gems. One of my favorite ones that I like to tell people is the new moon or the full moon. That's a very feminine energy. That's a beautiful vibrational frequency to put on your love stones specifically. But if you want to bring a little bit more nurturing and feminine energy into your life, it's a really good thing to put your stones on the windowsill in a full moon or on a new moon. Leave it there overnight and let it just absorb the beautiful moonlight and the vibrational, that lunar frequency that's coming from our beautiful moon. And it'll actually help to really clear your stones. And there's something really special about having moon energy all over your stones. You can also do this with water. If you want to put water next to your stones that you're clearing, or even like an amethyst, works really, really well. And it actually charges the water. And so then you can drink the water and you can get even more healing benefits. So moon water and charged water is a real thing. It's really good for you. Lunar or solar eclipses are another thing that you can use to clear your stones. So you can just look up when your next lunar eclipse or solar eclipse is. You put it out during that eclipse time. And again, it can clear the energy from your stones. So I'll roll right into sunlight. Using sunlight for stones is something that you can do, but only certain stones. You don't want to leave every stone in the sunlight because it can actually fade your gem. It can fade the color, but not every stone is really meant to be charged by the sun. So make sure that you look up if it's the best way to clear or charge your stone with the sunlight, because Darker stones are usually better in sunlight than lighter color or sun colored stones. So stones that are yellow or orange, like carnelian, those aren't really the best to keep in sunlight. But darker stones have a tendency to do much better in sunlight for clearing and for charging. So salt water is another thing that can really help to clear the vibrational frequency of stones. Again, not every stone likes water or salt water specifically. So look up your stone and see which ones, if you're trying to charge or clear the energy, if it can stand salt water. Harder stones can usually stand salt water, but softer stones, kind of like malachite or selenite, you don't want to put those in salt water. They're a softer stone, and that salt water can actually damage your stone because they're more porous. So you can make your own. It doesn't have to be natural salt water. If you're not anywhere near an ocean where you have salt water, you can make your own salt water, no problem. It still has the same effect. You can even bury it in salt completely. But again, be careful about putting metal, like, so if it's a piece of jewelry, that the stone is in, if it's wrapped in metal or anything like that, you probably don't want to use salt water because it will have a reaction with the metal. So again, just use your own discernment on what stone you're clearing, what stone you're charging, and how it's actually, if it's wrapped or used in jewelry. Okay. Another thing that you can do is use larger stones. So you can use geodes or stone slabs to clear your stones. And the best thing is they heal each other. So if you have a geode, a beautiful like oval, round, or kind of a cradle type of geode, you can place your smaller stones inside the geode. Or if you have a slab stone, like say you have a piece of quartz or amethyst or something like that, you can actually place the smaller stones on top of the slab, and they will actually help to heal one another. And it does clear the smaller stones. Kind of a cool thing. So smudging is something that, like I was talking about with the decks, is something that can be used to clear stones. Now, if you are going to do some smudging, make sure you're near an open window or you're outdoors, because you want the negative energy that is being pulled off of the stone to have somewhere to go. So make sure that you have an access for that smoke to go out. So light your either your sage, again, cedar, and you can use lavender and lemongrass. There's lots of different herbs that you can use. Sage is the most common one. Light your sage and completely envelop your stone for about 30 seconds, and make sure the stone, the smoke gets all around the stone, and then just see basically the negative energy or ions being carried away with the smoke. Sage has actually been really proven scientifically to clear air, and we'll get more into that when we're talking about smudging your house to clear energy. But it works very well for stones. Another thing that you can use is sound. You can use, in module 3, we're talking about sound therapy and how it's so valuable for balancing energy and clearing energy and stagnant energy in the body. Does the same thing for your stones. And so you can use sound energy to actually clear your stones. One of the neat ways that you can do it is kind of the same thing with the decks I was talking about. You can also use visualization and meditation. And once again, the same with the decks. Using visualization and meditation to clear your stones gives you a tighter bond with your stones. It actually helps you to get to know your stone better. You would close your eyes, you would literally see the energy transferring and having it completely recharged and allowing the negative energy to float away from the stone. Again, a very strong practice to really just get to know your stones better if you're doing it as a regular part of your practice, or if you're specifically using stones for other people. It helps you to put your vibrational frequency and your healing frequencies on these stones. And so when you're placing stones on the person that you're working on, it can actually help to heal them a little bit quicker. And it already has your intention in it. So if you're intending for this healing stone, like say it's a rose quartz, and you're healing someone's broken heart, or you're bringing more love into their heart, or you're increasing their self-love, and you put that beautiful rose quartz, if you've already charged your stone with your love and your intention of incredible self-love into that stone, it's actually going to help transfer into the person that you're working with, and it makes your practice that much easier. Another really cool way to clear your stones is burying it in the ground. Mother Earth is incredibly healing, and that again, that transfer of ions and that transfer of energy can be very, very powerful for clearing your stones. So with burial, it's probably one of the longer ways to clear a stone. You're going to want to make sure you have a very safe and sacred place that you can bury your stone, somewhere that means a lot to you. Just don't go randomly in your backyard, dig a hole, throw it in there, and hope for the best. You really want a very special spot when you're going to bury your stone, and you can bury it directly. You don't have to put it in a bag or anything like that, but you're going to want to bury it for 24 hours up to 3 days. And that's going to actually help to really balance the energy, because that's where it came from. The stones came from Mother Earth. And so it's such a strong and beautiful practice to bury it back into Mother Earth and recharge that stone, clear the energy. And it's one of the most efficient ways to really bring it back to its original self. So that is the list for clearing stones and gems. The other thing that I want to touch on is clearing energy out of your home. If you're feeling stagnant energy, if you're moving into a new home, if you're feeling negative energy, bad juju, anything like that, a really good way to clear your home is using sage or smudging. So again, you can use other things such as cedar, lavender, and lemongrass, but I love sage, because sage, again, has been scientifically proven to clear the air and change the ions. It actually can transfer the ions and bring, I mean, for me, I can smell a cleaner air after I smudge. I've smudged other people's homes for many, many years. It's been part of my practice. It was part of my business for many years, where I would actually go into people's homes. They would hire me to clear the energy, and I would teach people how to smudge their own homes. What you want to do is get a sage bundle, and you want to go ahead and light it, get a nice fan it, get a nice smoke going on it. And you want to walk around the house. And what you want to do is you want to smudge around every doorway, every window, and every opening. So I would even go over like the toilets. I would go over the registers where the air comes out. I would go around every single window and every single door frame, like literally follow the rectangle shape or the square shape of the window or the door. And just again, intention of clearing negative energy, having an open window and allowing that negative energy to have a place to escape to, and replacing it intentionally with love and light. And really, again, setting your intention is so vitally important when you're doing these practices. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to mention it again, because it is really vitally important that you're setting an intention before you're doing any of this energy work. Seeing this love and this positive vibration coming in and transforming and allowing the negative energy or frequency to basically leave. And So again, smudging the entire house, it can take some time. You want to be intentional about it. It's not something you want to just rush through. You can, in fact, Native Americans use feathers of either like an eagle or a hawk to actually make the smoke go a little bit further, and it helps as part of their practice. I've seen a Native American smudging, and it was absolutely beautiful. It just was really a cool thing to witness. So it's something that you can do for your own home. You can do it anytime that you want. And again, it just absolutely liberates energy and releases any kind of stagnant energy. So the last thing we're going to touch on is clearing energy from your body and then actually placing protection around yourself. And this is imperative if you're working with other people. You absolutely have to do this practice, because otherwise you'll drain your life force and you can take on other people's ailments, which is the complete opposite of what you want to do in your spiritual practice. You want to be in the utmost health when you're healing other people. And I have come across so many healers that have taken on the healees' ailments. That is a big no. We don't want to do that. Of course, we don't want you to be hurt or injured or take on anybody else's illness or injury. We want to liberate that freedom. And the best way to do that is for you to be in the best health possible. Again, set your intention and protect yourself. So a really great way to clear your energy is just chakra aligning. Literally sit in a meditative practice. Be very intentional about clearing your energy, changing your vibrational frequency, raising your frequency and your vibration in order to allow love and light and everything good into your body. Seeing a light come from the heavens down through your crown chakra, going down through your body, all the way filling your every cell in your body with light, going down through your root chakra, wrapping around the core of Mother Earth, and then coming back up through your feet, and then even having it come out through your heart and emanating that beautiful love and light, and literally seeing that love and light fill your entire aura like a cloud, like a bubble, like a disco ball, something around you where it's literally protecting you, and it's creating a cloud of energy around you of pure love and light. And that meditative state is, again, very intentional about allowing, and since your biggest pores in your body are in your feet, or seeing negative energy coming out of your fingertips, your toes, but grounding it into Mother Earth. If you can stand outside and you can do some earthing while you're doing this, again, it's going to just increase the productivity of that transfer of energy. It's actually going to help it come faster and clear better. So another thing you can do is you can smudge yourself. You can do cord cutting. You can look up a technique that you really like. I like to get a flaming sword from Archangel Michael, and I go around and shave my entire body and imagine cords being cut all over. I go under my feet, I go under my arms, I go everywhere throughout my whole body. I give the sword back up to the heavens, and then I go and I smooth off anything, and I come back and I see those cords being released lovingly back to wherever they came from. I really have a do no harm policy, so I don't want anybody to be harmed when we're releasing them. We always want to release with love and with light. So again, this is a really good way to clear any stagnant energy, to release any cords that someone has corded you, or if you've corded anybody. Very appropriate from a parent to a child. But other than that, cording is something that should be cut regularly, so everybody is on their own energy wavelength. So again, creating this protection around you, super important. But I mean, really, you can use sound therapy, and you can use gem therapy to clear energy as well. Placing certain gems up and down your body along your chakra, your energy centers, or having somebody else place them on your body, or doing sound therapy for you, or you can listen to something on, again, free on YouTube, on your radio station, that type of thing. You can actually play something while you're doing a meditation and allow that sound therapy to clear any stagnant energy. Very intentional. Set an intentional that you're clearing this energy from your body, any ailments, any weaknesses, and bringing strength into your body, bringing clarity into your body, bringing wholeness and wellness into your body. Again, letting it come out through your heart and surrounding you with love and light and protection. You always want to put protection around you, especially when you're working with other people in your practice. So that is module 4 for clearing energy. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful practice. I hope that you use it in your daily life, because it really will make a difference. And clear your stones, clear your space. It makes a big difference. You'll notice a huge shift in your energy once you do this. So we'll see you next time. Have a great night. Be blessed.